There's a fella in the fashion industry you might know even if you don't follow fashion. He is brilliant and oftentimes controversial. You'd probably recognize his face. If nothing else, he's got powder white hair and always wears black sunglasses, presumably to protect him from getting crow's feet, because those are so not on trend these days. I'm speaking, of course, of Karl Lagerfeld, legend and the creative genius behind current fashion at two prominent fashion houses, Chanel and Fendi. The Chanel logo, the interlocking C's that you, I'm sure, are familiar with, that was created by Lagerfeld for House of Chanel. He's been the subject of numerous documentaries. He has been on the cover of magazines. He has personally photographed some of the biggest names in the industry. He is an absolute icon. No one can refute that. But for a little bit of background, he was born in Hamburg, Germany. Though he's pretty vague about the year that he was born, he's not vague, however, about his opinions. He has been an outspoken opponent of Angela Merkel's policies, particularly as it relates to the admittance of Muslim migrants to Germany. In an interview last November on French television, he slammed Angela Merkel, saying she had invited the worst enemy of the Jewish people to Germany during the migrant crisis. So he's no stranger to controversy, and he is definitely not deterred from speaking his mind as an impetus for those controversies. One such controversy, his feelings on the Me Too movement. The fashion industry, much like the film and television industry, has been plagued with sexual misconduct allegations recently. One such case is that of Karl Lagerfeld's friend, Karl Templer, who has been accused of aggressively pulling down a model's underwear without asking her. Templer responded to the allegations with this statement: "Although physical interaction with models is a necessary aspect of my job as a fashion stylist, I've never touched anyone in an inappropriate way, nor ever with any sexual intent." And that highlights something that I want to point out. It does tend to be part of the job, not pulling down garments specifically, but you're in a dressing room with scads of other naked people or people in varying degrees of undress. You're nearly stark naked in front of designers and seamstresses constantly. But hey, at least we are out of the heroin chic phase of fashion, back when models looked like a bag of bones. So that's good. They're eating lettuce now instead of ice cubes. But they're also in an industry that literally sexualizes everything. Its intended purpose is to visually excite and stimulate you into buying something. And if you've ever seen any reality show, movie, or TV show about the fashion industry, specifically model culture, it's not exactly like peering into a day in the life of a vacation Bible school teacher. One group teaches biblical principles and tells stories from scripture, and the other is basically all about money and selling sex. So forgive me if I don't have a ton of sympathy for women complaining over sexualization in the modeling industry. That's like an adult film star complaining about being cold on set. You kind of just have to expect it. But Karl Lagerfeld, in a recent interview, said this pertaining to the Karl Templer scandal: "If you don't want someone pulling down your panties, don't become a model," he said. And in regard to the movement as a whole, he said, "Join a nunnery. There will always be a place for you in the convent. They're recruiting even." He goes on to say, "I read somewhere that now you have to ask models whether they feel comfortable when they are posing. That's opening the door to anything. From then on, as a creator, you don't do anything anymore." Now, side note, is being comfortable when posing as a model even a reasonable expectation? It's hardly ever a natural pose. It's like sucking in here and poking the hip out and making the shoulders protrude and all sorts of uncomfortableness. Is that a word? In fact, female celebrities literally have to practice their pose for the red carpet in order to accentuate their best parts. I should have done that. I've seen some pretty unflattering pictures of myself from back in the day when I was in the music industry. But what do you guys think? Was Karl Lagerfeld saying what a lot of you are thinking, or was it utterly insensitive and how rude? Let us know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'm Amanda Head for The Rebel. If you enjoyed my commentary and want to hear more from all of us here at The Rebel, subscribe to our premium content at www.therebel.media/shows, and make sure you're following us on Facebook and Twitter for all of our latest news. Also, download our new app for The Rebel Media. You download it and you will have access to all of our latest videos and your favorite Rebel shows. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Amanda Head for The Rebel.